Hi everyone. I'm going to assume that you've already watched the overview of the course, and if you have not, please go to the Welcome to the Course page in our Blackboard site and do so immediately, because that gives you the background necessary to understand what I'm talking about in this video. In this video, I'm going to cover what the design portfolio is, including what's included in it, and how much of your grade it is, as well as what you can expect in terms of how this affects the overall course, the process that you're going to follow, and I'm going to explain why we're doing this in the first place. So let's start with what the design portfolio is. So there are 4 production assignments in this course. These are the assignments from weeks 3 through 6, and they are an identity package, a color brochure, a restaurant menu, and a type poster. You will be including revised versions of all 4 of these production assignments in your design portfolio. So you'll be completing versions of these for weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then for week 7 for the portfolio, you'll revise those previous ones that you completed for inclusion in the portfolio. You'll also include an overall memo that discusses your strengths and weaknesses as a designer, your progress in the course, and so on. You'll also include with this a showcase design, which is one of those 4. You'll select one of the 4 production assignments as a showcase, and you'll include with it all of your process steps, your sketches, your feedback notes, etc., in order to kind of paint a picture of how that particular design evolved over time. You'll include a memo with this one discussing more specifically about that particular design. This is, the design portfolio is 60% of your grade, and as such, it is the vast majority of your grade here, and the focus will be on those production assignments and later the design portfolio, because this is a lot of work going into this one. It's 4 separate designs, and it's revisions to those designs, plus additional work going into this. So what you can expect here, first of all, when you turn in a production assignment, say you turn in your identity package in week 3, I will give you extensive feedback on your identity package, and you will receive a placeholder grade of 0. That 0 does not mean that you have a 0 per se, it's just a placeholder in Blackboard. But basically, you aren't receiving a grade for your identity package. Instead, you'll just receive feedback. Then, later in the course, for the portfolio, you will revise your identity package along with your other 3 ones based on the feedback that I've provided you and included in the portfolio. When I look at and evaluate your portfolio, I will not be looking at the strength of your actual designs. What I am focused on instead is your learning. How much have you progressed as a designer? What are your strengths and weaknesses overall as a designer? And what have you done to address those strengths and weaknesses? What kinds of progress have your specific designs made in terms of revision, your ability to incorporate feedback, and so on? You can read more about this on the actual assignment prompt if you go to the assignment page in Blackboard and look at the design portfolio assignment. So, let me conclude by talking to you a little bit about why I'm doing this. I know that portfolio grading can make things more stressful for you because you have no idea where you stand in terms of grades. You'll receive a grade on your Unit 1, your Week 1, and Week 2 assignments, but you won't be receiving grades for weeks 3 through 6, so there'll be quite a gap in your grades there, and I understand that that can be stressful. However, there are a number of reasons why this is the best approach for this class. So, reason number 1, everyone comes into this class with different amounts of design skill, and the portfolio accommodates that. If I was grading purely based on how effective your designs were, and not considering your growth and learning as a designer, then those of you who came in as beginning designers or non-designers would be at a disadvantage. You would inherently get lower grades than expert designers, and that is not fair. So, this particular approach, the portfolio approach, by focusing on growth and learning, it levels the playing field so that even beginning designers can get really good grades in this class if they make significant strides towards making their work better and learning about design. Reason number 2, learning the Creative Suite, the principles of design, sketching, all the things you're going to be learning in this class, all at the same time in the span of 7 weeks is a very hard thing to do. The portfolio gives you the opportunity to have a rocky start and not let it hurt you. The weeks 1 and 2 assignments are fairly low stakes, and they shouldn't require much in the way of actual design skills because they aren't production assignments. However, if I were just grading your identity package, many of you, that'll be the very first time you'll have used Adobe InDesign and Adobe Illustrator, and it'll be the very first time you're producing a significant major design project, and as such, it's very likely to be pretty rough, and that's okay with a portfolio, whereas if I were simply grading that, you'd get much lower grades as a result. Reason number 3, the focus here is on your learning, and I think this is the most important thing. It allows us to pull that focus in on your learning and allow you the space to develop your designs and to learn principles here without necessarily worrying about how perfect your designs are basically as you turn them in. Reason number 4, it allows you to produce better work through revision. The only way to make really great designs is to keep revising. I revise many of my designs that I produce 6, 7, 8 different times. And the more you revise, the better your work will get. Additionally, this allows you to contextualize your work. It allows you to point out your strengths and weaknesses, and by selecting a showcase design, you can kind of highlight the work that you've done that you feel particularly proud of or that you think demonstrates your growth and learning particularly well. Finally, this ultimately results in higher grades across the board. I think that should be clear by now from the way I've been talking about it, that universally from the portfolio, I do see higher grades as a class as a whole. You cannot come into this class as an awesome designer and skate by being an awesome designer. You need to stretch yourself and do great things. So occasionally there are students who receive lower grades from the portfolio than they would have if I had graded individual assignments as we went. But for the most part, the vast majority of students in the class will have higher grades as a result because the focus is on your growth and learning. So if you try hard, you learn things, you learn how to apply the principles of the course, then you'll be fine. If you have any additional questions or comments or concerns about the portfolio, please drop me a line via email or any of the other methods listed on our syllabus. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video gave you enough information that you feel like you understand the portfolio and are prepared for it.